What's going on there, guys and girls? How are you doing there? It's Angry Roleplay once again. Today I want to show you the build that is also kind of an old return from the past and is now extremely powerful because the Immortal King set has been buffed, and this is Immortal King's hammer build, or you know, the Hammer of the Ancients build if you want to call it this way. So this build utilizes the Immortal King set, the Istvan swords, as well as the Endless Walk set and the Fire Rune of the Hammer of the Ancients. So how does the shield works? Basically just very straightforward. You're just attacking with Hammer of the Ancients and then charge at the enemies to proc your damage reduction and knockbacks for the strong arm races. That's it. Everything else just to refresh your Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients. So your survival ability is there, and also Battle Rage and Warcry. I will go a bit on the detail how the build works and what stats you need for this to work. First of all, the helm is strength, hit chance, and Hammer of the Ancients damage. The chest is strength, wit, and life, or reduce damage from elites as you wish. I prefer the bigger life pool. The belt is also Immortal King's tribal binding with strength, wit, all rest, and life per fury is mandatory here. You can also have strength with life and life per fury, but life per fury is mandatory to have here. Roll everything off and get life per fury. The pants are strength with and all res, the boots are strength with, all res, and Hammer of the Ancients damage here. The shoulders are the Fury of the Ancients, and this shit is basically why we get both the together as one rune for the damage reduction, as well as the Ancients Fury rune, which just gives us infinite Fury generation, because when the Ancients deal damage, they generate Fury for us. The stats should be strength with, area damage, and life. Everything else is not really that important. The gloves are strength with, hit damage, and chance, and the perfect should be strength, area damage, hit damage, and chance here as well. Area damage is very good for this build. You just, you know, linearly increases your damage, because the area of the hit of the Hammer of the Ancients is pretty small, to be honest, and area damage greatly increases the impact that you do on the enemies as well. So the two rings are the convention of the elements with hit damage, hit chance, and area damage, and another one is the compass rose and should be like strength, area damage, hit damage, and hit chance as well. The Traveler Splash should be fire, hit damage, and hit chance, and the bracers are the strong arm bracers that will proc through their furious charge, and this should be fire, hit, strength, hit, and hit chance as well. These are the true swords that we use now. We are cubing the improved Gavel Judgment here. This would be pretty slow if we use it as in our main hand. So the swords should be just strength, area damage, and attack speed. Strength, area damage, and attack speed. You know, attack speed basically is what pushes us forward. Basically, the faster we attack, the more damage we do, and the more healing we also do through the life per fury span. This is like the linear increase damage and life generation for us. So I can really recommend to have one life per hit here on one of the swords. If you manage to get really good sword, you can get one life per hit here on one of the swords, simply because with just the belt and one of the passives that we have here, it's not really that tough. And I know where there's a lot of mobs out there on the screen that healing from life per fury is not really enough, and this is where life per hit can really help you survive. As you see, the gems here are amethyst in the helm. We don't really need any kind of cooldown reduction here at all, because when we spend fury, when we spend a lot of fury, we gain the cooldown for our Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients. So any kind of cooldowns is not important here. Also, there is amethyst in the helm here. Everything else is basically diamonds. And the legendary gems is Stricken to kill the Rift Guardian, Pain Enhancer, because it's just synergizes well with a massive attack speed that we have in the build, as well as the Bane of the Trap, so no brainer here. In the cube we have Gavel Judgment. This is the buffed one, and it now rolls up the 800% increased damage for Hammer of the Ancients, and returns 25 Fury if you hit 3 or fewer enemies. So basically we're casting Fury Hammer of the Ancients for free against single target. This is also the buffed bracer of the first man. They now roll with up to 500% increased damage, and Hammer of the Ancients also attacks 50% faster. This is incredibly strong setup here. And another thing that we have is the buffed Band of Might here. And after casting Furious Charge, Ground Stop or Leap, we take 80% reduced damage for 8 seconds. And basically this is why we get damage reduction, and we should be casting Furious Charge on and on to get the Band of Might damage reduction here. So for the skills, Hammer of the Ancient Smash, this is the fire rune and does the most damage here. On the right button I have Furious Charge, Merciless Assault here to get the refunded, you know, the refunded Furious Charges here with the Merciless Assault rune. Here is Warcry, Veteran's Warning, just damage reduction here. Battle Rage, Bloodshot for more damage here as well. That's it. Call of the Ancients together as one is our damage reduction, and we also get the Ancient Fury rune with this. Wrath of the Berserker Insanity is also mandatory, and this is the reason why we do damage here. Look at the Immortal King set. 6 piece. While both Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients is active, you deal 1500 increased damage. It's also been buffed on PTR, and it just double the damage what is in live now. So this is very important to have all of this to up and never down. So the most thing you need to watch for is the Wrath of the Berserker up time. It should be up all the time. Otherwise you do no fucking damage whatsoever. So the passive of Berserker Rage, simply because we always almost at the full fury, so this is very good. Bloodthirst for additional healing, and this is synergized as well with the health glow bonus as well, so get as much health glow bonus as well for your healing. Ruthless, mandatory for any barb build out there. Rampage, also another mandatory shit for any barb. And this is basically it. You can also drop Berserker Rage for the nerf to steel if you are playing on hardcore, or Relentless. It will make you much tougher, and when you drop your life below 35% you will get pretty much 50% damage reduction. This is very good. So for damage reduction I recommend dropping Berserker Rage for the Nerves of Steel or Relentless. This is how it worked in the past, and this is how it works now. So this is it for the build, guys, and I can tell you that the build is incredibly powerful, very straightforward, which I really like. You know, I really like the two types of build: the demanding ones that require a ton of skill and ton of manipulation and shit, and this one is pretty straightforward. You just hit everything with Hammer of the Ancients, reposition with the Furious Charge, escape from danger, watch for the Wrath of the Berserker, and watch for your Warcry and Battle Rage. Keep your Ancients alive, and that's about it. Everything else is just a technique. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.